Okay, good evening. This is Troy's video response to Murderball. This movie, I liked it. It started out a bit strong for me. Um, it I have to admit that I struggle with seeing limbs and bodies disfigured. I don't mind if it's covered up, but I used to struggle with seeing um, people with physical disabilities. However, as I've been moving through this course, my eyes have opened up to a lot, and I still say, is it um, not me who has the problem? Um, I love this film. It was I was laughing in places. I was definitely crying in places. What I saw in all of these people is the spirit to to do, to be, to excel, and not to give up, and not be limited by a disabled body. And I'm using the word disabled because they used the word. Um, I was a bit that sex part is, you know, I guess it's necessary to know because it's part of their humanity, and we need to be comfortable knowing that people who have disabilities or who are confined to wheelchairs can still experience a sexual life, different life, and it's good that they have all the videos and the help. But it's good for my mindset to be respectful and to you know think of a person as a whole person all the time, not just when they look like they're okay. There was one story in there. I mean, the story of Joe and the story of, I think, Mark Zupin, the man who fell asleep in the back of a truck, were very strong and compelling stories. But the story of the man who had meningococcal meningitis moved me to the point where I had to stop the film and regroup. And it brought back a lot of memories. And I know I tie in my life experience with just about everything that I see in here, but this is powerful. 30 years ago, this year, in January, in fact, I had meningococcal meningitis, and I survived, obviously, and I had almost a 100% recovery. In fact, at the time, when I did recover, the doctor told me that he said, people who get into your condition leave the hospital in a pine box. And I do remember that my family was called to the hospital because they didn't think I was going to make it through the night. And I wouldn't have made it through the night if Mr. Andy Fennell hadn't made the decision to leave me in hospital overnight. The night I went to the hospital, I slipped into a coma that lasted for 4 days. And I believe it's only because I was in the hospital that I survived. All of that came rushing back because, to be perfectly honest, to my shame, I had forgotten. And I feel like because I had forgotten, I failed to appreciate that life is what you make of it. And when I was looking at the man in the movie who had the injuries, I had the same thing. I had septicemia. They asked to take pictures of my arms and legs to show how, for medical purposes, for research, they said, to show how my hands and my arms and legs in particular looked with septicemia. Apparently, I had blotches all over. And doctors fought very hard for me to survive. I was pregnant at the time, and a question had to be asked. My husband had to make a hard decision. We can't save your wife and the baby, we can only save one. So he had to sign, and it was a very difficult and challenging time. I had to stop the movie because just memories just came flooding back of that powerful time in my life. And I was looking at the man's limbs and arms and thinking, you know, that could have been me. And it made me think, you know, he said, you know, I'm just using all I have. That's what we all are doing. And that is true. And that's why I feel that it is so important for me to have the mindset that people are complete people. Whether their body is in full cooperation with them or not. The quality of our life perhaps isn't so much in what we are capable of, but how we use what we have to do something. One thing about all of these people in their attitudes is that they were passionate about life. The being on a team, you know, and just watching them perform the way that they did, and how they just did not let, you know, the fact that they were in a wheelchair stop them from doing anything. I mean, if they were a jerk before the wheelchair, like that guy Mark, he was a jerk, you know, it was the same thing. And it was good that people could actually say that to him. You know, you were an idiot before and you're an idiot now. So that the movie was very good for helping me to think in the way that is necessary to teach children who have exceptionalities, because you just have to approach them as the whole person. The one little boy who said, "How do you eat your pizza with your elbows?" And when the man showed him, he just laughed. He thought, "Okay, I was wondering how you did it." It was good. His approach was just so fresh and clean and lovely to experience. I don't think that any part, the only thing that I thought was a glimpse of how people treat people in a wheelchair was when one of the guys was saying, he said, "I'm not going," an aunt came up to him and said, "Oh, I hear you're going to the Special Olympics." And he looks at her and almost says, "Look, dude, I'm not going to no Special Olympics. We're not going for no damn hug." I didn't know myself that there was a difference between Special Olympics and Paralympics. And I'm not ever going to look at it the same. Those games were as compelling as any game. I mean, I was sitting on the edge of my chair and cheering and biting my nails as I would at any game. So I thoroughly enjoyed the film. I think it portrays people with physical disabilities or people in a wheelchair in such a way that helps the viewer see that, you know, we who are able-bodied and seemingly have no exceptionalities need to approach people who do as a whole and complete person, and work with them the way we would work with anyone else. And as far as students, teach and treat them in the same way that we would anybody else. It's actually quite liberating. Thank you.